Hi everyone, welcome to Chalchitra Talks. I'm Vaani, and this week I want to recommend to you Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Cannot Stop Talking by Susan Cain. Susan Cain actually practiced as an attorney for 7 years and then as a negotiations consultant. Then she quit her career in corporate law and consulting for a quieter life in order to write and to stay at home with her family. Susan Cain actually wrote a book in 2012, which I'm recommending today, and it argues that the Western culture undermines the influence and the capabilities of an introverted person. In 2015, she actually co-founded the Quiet Revolution, which is a missions-based company which takes initiatives in terms of children, their parenting and their education, lifestyle, and the workplace practices. And in 2016, she actually wrote a follow-up book to Quiet, which was called The Quiet Power, The Secret Strength of Introverts, which is aimed at kids and teenagers. And it's basically a parenting guide to help parents and educators. In fact, her writing has appeared in the New York Times, The Atlantic, the Wall Street Journal, and such other publications. Bill Gates as well cites her TED Talk, which is one of my favorites, as his all-time favorite talks. I picked up Quiet for the same reason I believe most of us do, because I was an introvert, and it actually changed the way I look at myself and the world around me. I mean, there are certain things that you can argue about, but overall, it had such a positive influence on the way I deal with things that I had to recommend it. In the book, Susan Cain actually argues about the extrovert ideal, which is an idea that I absolutely love and adore. She argues that the Western culture has influenced us to pick up individuals who are extroverts, and as such, they naturally fit into the society so well, charming individuals who can talk to hundreds of people in a day and still not get tired by it. But she actually says that sometimes the loudest person in the room might not be the best leader, true, but sometimes we actually pick individuals only based on their communication abilities instead of their leading abilities. And then we get confused about why the organization is failing. And there are so many things that she argues about the introversion, extroversion spectrum that absolutely makes sense. Now, if you are someone like me, or even better, for example, I was interested in Jungian psychology, especially his cognitive functions. And therefore, when I picked up this book, I already had an idea about introversion and extroversion and the spectrum. If you are someone who knows better than what I do in this regard, or if you're someone who does not know anything what I'm talking about, I would still recommend that you pick up this book, but with your own research. Research always helps. To not take whatever is written in a book on face value. Always do your research. Why you should pick up this book? For introverts, it will give you a sense of community and it will probably validate your arguments and give you hope. For extroverts, you might know someone who's an introvert, and this book is such a good guide. Not the perfect, but an absolute helpful guide for guiding your way around an introvert that you might want to befriend. What you must also know is that this book does not argue that introverts are better than extroverts or vice versa. It's about celebrating your differences and leveraging the best out of each personality type. I could have used this book when I was a teenager, and this is something I'm certain of. But then also certain that there could be so many journals that are present out there that could bring this book down and tear it apart in one go. Nevertheless, this book is such a helpful guide, especially for people who are struggling professionally and are introverts, or for people who just want to understand the people around them better. So this was my recommendation for this week. I hope you like it, and I will be back again with another recommendation for you next week.